From Baxter's 942 in the Highlands of Louisville, Kentucky, and worldwide on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and now iHeartRadio. This is Shooting from the Lip Live. I'm Erik McEwen. Right next to me, Mr. Kevin Hale, and you brought in a very special guest.
So special.
So special. Let us know who you have.
Miss Tiffany Sims. Tiffany is part of, I guess you say, the leadership team or whatever at us with Starbucks here locally. And Erik, recently Starbucks was caught in what's the right situation? Situation involved a Starbucks store. Tiffany would tell me which location was. I know it wasn't here, but it was.
I think it was in Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
Where two black men were in the store. They arrived, sat down, and they were actually meeting somebody, or having a meeting, or
right.
meeting somebody there. Had not ordered yet. And management there at the store called the police.
Wow.
Police came, questioned them, arrested them.
For what? Loitering?
Loitering, I guess.
Wow.
And from that, there was the fallout. I mean, I remember right afterwards, was it the chairman, CEO, Schultz, Howard Schultz, was on the media right away apologizing, and it was an embarrassment for him. In all fairness, it was not that Monster Coffee chain was not in good light from that. And one of the things that came from is that they on a May date, I guess it was in May, right? Mm-hmm. About 8,000 company-owned stores and offices were closed to customers in the afternoon, and the personnel of these stores all went through this training.
Okay.
So I found the whole situation, it got national attention, but out of to Starbucks' credit, they stepped up to the plate, identified what was going on.
Shut down during business hours. And, did the thing to educate their people. So this is what, and Tiffany and I are friends on Facebook, and we had, when I came across it, the connection that she was part of it, or Starbucks, I thought it'd be a great segment to have her come on, and if she could, share with us the training, everything that was involved with that. So
Sure.
Tiffany, here you are. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
So this training happens at the end of May. Take us, actually before the training.
Okay.
What was, as an employee, what was the vibe or the message that was going around prior to you actually doing training, kind of the fallout from this?
Well, I know the entire company they were mortified by it. And it's something I never thought we would experience, just because I know here in Louisville, our stores, we're very open. I mean, as far as anybody can come and sit in our stores, and they do. They don't purchase anything, which is fine. And, we're supposed to be that third place. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we've always been taught to believe, is that, you welcome everyone in, and, you treat everyone the same. And so when this happened, we all were kind of scratching our heads like, wait a minute. There's stores that would actually do that, because we have people constantly that loiter our stores, and we never even had a second thought to call the police on anything like that. And then the thing that kind of baffles me is even the police department there, what were the grounds for even arresting them? Because I know here in Louisville, you have to, it has to be a very specific and big reason for them to remove someone from your store. And I know even then, there have been situations where the police have been called, and they will ask, has the company allowed you to have this person removed? Mm-hmm. So, and that's been our department here. Yeah. So that's where I was even baffled by, I guess, the protocol up there.
Right.
But No, I mean, the company, like I said, we got mass emails, and they were just horrified by the whole incident. And I mean, even our customers were coming in constantly like, "Wow, that's crazy! You know, we've never experienced anything like that here." I mean, you know, and so it's just, we were baffled. And then, you know, to find out we had a 4-hour training session on it was kind of wow. 4 hours, which, you know, that means they meant business. They wanted to make sure that across the board everyone is on the very same page, which is good.
Yeah, again, to the credit of the leadership team, the management, you know, Starbucks, they stepped up.
Yeah, they reacted.
They reacted. Definitely not what they probably expected. But the reality is that this was a situation where race played, you know,
Right.
You know, and it put the company in some bad light. So from there, there's the training that actually happened. Can you tell us about the training?
Right. I mean, we had, they gave us a lot of reading material, and we had to break up into groups. So we worked together in groups, and we watched videos.
This is the day of the training, right? Okay.
Yeah. This is when.
Where was this at? Like at the store?
At our stores,
okay.
yeah. So
okay.
each store, I mean, the entire country shut down for
Right,
this
yeah.
training. And so, yeah, just in our store, we had 4 hours, and it's just going over reading material as a group. We were watching videos. We were having open discussions. A lot of it, I know, just from our store, we felt it was all just common sense stuff. It's situations that we knew wouldn't happen, but, I mean, clearly the material was made just so everyone was on the same page. But a lot of it was also scenarios, and it wasn't even just about race. It was just about prejudging anyone that walks into your store. So they had different scenarios, I guess, that baristas, you know, maybe they've heard where someone saw a group of kids walk in, and so they dropped the tip jar thinking that, oh, they're going to steal our tips, but then felt absolutely terrible when not only did the people, you know, the group buy things, but then they asked where the tip jar was so that they can tip them. And so there were a number of these different scenarios where they, you know, there was a situation where the barista prejudged and then, you know, felt bad for that. So they're trying to teach everyone to look at everyone equally, and not, if someone comes in dirty, they're not automatically homeless. There might be an issue or, you know, a reason why they come in looking like that. And which, again, is good, because I think a lot of us, you know, I think everyone might look at someone and make a prejudgment on what this person is like, but then, you know, it's not okay to do that. And I think it was great that they kind of reopened our eyes to, oh man, you know, sometimes we have something to say when someone orders a drink with like 20 modifiers, and we're like, oh, this person, you know, but you can't really be that way, because technically we're kind of like that too.
Well, the whole ordering drinks and you know, the whatever the names are, instead of a large coffee, you call it a what, so whatever it is.
Right.
That's a whole different topic that will have to come, because I don't get that. I to be honest, no offense, I've not done the Starbucks. I'm not a big coffee drinker, so.
Oh man, I gotta go. See ya.
Yeah.
So it's always the people that are employed, you know, wherever that you know, will order off menu or modify something.
Oh man, yeah. Well, even the people who've never worked for Starbucks, and they like, I'm like, okay, do you know a barista? How did you know to order this? Right. Like, I'm always asking. Or my favorite's like, can you give me a fourth of a Splenda? And I'm like, how am I going to do that?
A fourth of a Splenda.
I kid you not, that has been ordered. I've been there way too long. I've seen things.
Growing up, my dad, I would make my mom and dad coffee in the morning, and I think this is why I hate coffee. My dad would say, you need to pinch the corner of the packet of sugar and not let the rest of it. Pinch the corner, but put everything else in.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Daddy McEwen, giving him some props. But all right, so this is 4 hours of training.
Yeah.
The tone of the training is racial bias. Is that fair to say?
A lot of it was. Yeah.
Of
They
color?
I mean, they did, there was some of that. Yes, absolutely. And then, but they did, just because with us being in the industry that we are too, we do get a lot of like homeless people, and so they did try to open the doors for others, I guess.
Because your Wi-Fi is so good there.
Oh man, that Wi-Fi. That's true. It's fantastic.
We should do a show. I mean, we could.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, dang.
All right. Well, I mean, that's really good that Starbucks really stepped up. At least you got paid for the training.
Right.
Oh,
did you?
man. Yeah,
You
totally.
did. Okay.
Heck yeah.
was
And
gonna
a
say,
pizza.
And a pizza.
Nice.
I ate way too much.
All right. So the training's done. What's the next? I mean, obviously, there's probably steps in place, for
Right.
ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, they did tell us that they're going to keep modifying, I guess, the training and updating and implementing new strategies and whatnot. I mean, we don't really know because obviously they haven't been created yet, but they did say that they're going to continuously keep rolling out more training, for this, which is good because, I mean, obviously we get new people that come in and then they haven't had the training, so they, but so I mean that's good. And then apparently other big companies, I'm not sure who, but I was told that other big companies have adopted and
That was my next question. Is that sad but true, Starbucks being who they are globally, became a trendsetter for a lot of companies,
right?
And so what's been from what you're hearing, other major companies piggybacking off of
right. No, and I have heard, I don't know the company specifically, but I have heard from higher ups that yes, that other companies have wanted to adopt the same strategies and actually look into what we are doing, and our company is offering up that information just so that other companies can follow the same practices, because they don't want anyone else to go through the same things, which is good. I think that's great for the company to care about others as well.
Wow. Just looking at the article here. Locally, I have to ask Tiffany, have you personally experienced anything like that with your stores?
I mean, I haven't, but I mean, I'm not everywhere.
No.
But no, I mean, I've been with the company almost 14 years, and I've never experienced anything like that. That's why I was baffled, and a number of my coworkers were baffled that a situation like that even happened at all.
I'm curious, like, how many, that store, can you tell me, was that a franchise or was that a corporate-owned store, do you know?
The store that was affected, I believe it's a corporate-owned store.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, which is why,
Yeah, so, I mean, that definitely, you kind of like, a franchise store, you can probably say, okay, they're doing their own thing, and but...
Yeah, well, technically, like, our company doesn't really have, like, franchises.
Oh, they do? Okay.
No,
Okay.
it's more of they have licensed stores. So, like, when you see the ones that are in the airports or Target, Kroger, they're all under, like, a licensed jurisdiction. And then you've got your corporate-owned stores. But, yeah, like, as far as the area goes, I mean, I know there's a number of stores. Even my store, we have, like, our local homeless people that, come and they hang out. And we don't do anything. And, I mean, gosh, I've even had my own experiences where I've just sat and, like, chatted. I mean, there was one that everyone always keeps talking about where before the furniture store went in next door to us, and this was probably a good 6 years ago or so, I went outside because one girl did get scared. She said there was a guy outside that, she thought something was wrong with him. So I went out there, and he was just like, this town...
You went out there?
Yeah, everyone always says they're surprised I'm not dead yet. Because
Wonder Woman.
If someone's like, someone's weird out there, I'm like, let me see.
Yeah.
But this guy was just like, what's going in over here? And I was like, I don't know. And he goes, they need to have a disco. And I was like, dude, we totally need to have a disco. So I talked to him for like 15 minutes about discos. So, I mean, it's, we're all, I don't know. We're good to everybody. And
all right.
Just
switching off real quick before we let you go.
Sure.
You also are involved with something called Prestige Appearances.
Yes.
I wanted to let you plug that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine, actually, that I've known for 16, 18 years or so, he started his own celebrity booking agency. So he gets celebrity clients, and then we book them for different Comic-Con events. And so I had never really
Comic-Con, geek, right up your alley, geek
yeah.
man. Anyways, sorry. Continue.
But no, I'd never really thought about doing anything along those lines. I've been kind of volunteering and working with different Comic-Cons over the last 4 years. And it was actually, I worked with a celebrity at a show last year, and I worked with him, and it was actually like we went out to dinner with a group, and he was just like, you know, have you ever thought about doing anything more with these shows? And I was like, not really. Like, I mean, like what? And so he said, you know, with your personality and being a people person that you are, because I was talking to everybody. He was like, have you ever thought about being an agent? And I was, at the time, like, I really hadn't. And then, but then I thought about it more, and I'd end up calling him and was like, well, how do you suggest I get started on this? And he, you know, he kind of gave me a few ideas, and that's when I touched base with a friend of mine who owns the company, him and his fiance. And immediately, because we worked together, he was like, yes, come help us. And so, yeah, I've been doing some traveling with them. And so, like, next month, I'm going to Estes Park Comic-Con. We have about 10 celebrities, and I have 2 clients now.
Wow.
Yay. And one of them is booked there.
See, I think that right there will be a segment to bring you back on, because the whole Comic-Con, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, Aaron McEwen.
But yeah, so.
Well, you might want to hear more when I get back from Ecuador. I'm going to Ecuador Comic-Con in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did we just do that together?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Wonder Twins powers.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
It got super nerdy in
Oh,
here.
God. Thank you. Just bring it out. Well, good luck with everything that, you know, all the new adventures that you're going to have with
so
Prestige. It sounds like a whole lot of fun.
It's going to be great.
And thank you for coming on and sharing a little bit about what, you know, giving us the insider look at what was going on at Starbucks. I think a lot of us were wanting to know about that. So appreciate you sharing that with us too. Check out Prestige Appearances, and you know, if you need the celebrity booked, I guess you can talk to her.
Miss Tiffany Sims.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Tiffany, thank you so much for being on.